Alright. Good news and bad news. Good news is the connection seems to work again. I temporarily switched off and on data, which did wonders. It immediately restored my connection to Streamlabs and went to upload the full 6 megabits a second instantly. Unfortunately, Streamlabs stopped broadcasting to Twitch and YouTube simultaneously apparently, so but I still was uploading to Streamlabs at least, with a good speed. So let's hope it stays that way now. The bad news is I forgot to save, so we'll have to redo the things I just did. It's not a lot, but yeah. Right, so I'm not gonna waste time on new intros, because my intros are getting so long they need separate intros already. Now we are hyper efficient though, we know exactly what we need to do. It's my tip too, for what if you want to get There Is No Spoon on Factorio, you just gotta play it once. You just gotta save, then play it once, then reload and do it again. And that way you will be way more efficient with what you needed to do and you will get it done much faster. So now I can do this without making the mistake of getting spoilage on the belt, I'm pretty sure. Because now I know what I needed to do, I know what went wrong, and we are perfectly fine here. Of course we do need to check if there's no spoilage on the end of the belt. There is one spoilage in the splitter. It's on the left side though. Alright, good enough. Yeah, I think the main idea is we're gonna design an Aquilo ship. It's not gonna be much of a design, it's probably more an adaptation of the design we already have and try to make it a little bit better. I was here for the steel and the copper because I already know I need 14 heat pipes now. If I manage to make the same design as I did before at least. Alright, so this one gets replaced for a normal one, which puts it in a chest and then we throw it in the heating tower. So that should get rid of the worst quality signs on the belt, and the signs quality in the labs should go up a bit, which should give my inserters a larger chance to keep up with the swing speed. This would not be necessary, so I guess those people complaining about the fast inserter skip actually have a point, because this is I only need to do this because I have no fast inserters and hand size 1. I think like this. Alright, so that's the new design then, I suppose. 1 rocket of plastics for Vulcanus, sure. Alright, efficient. Efficient. I also thought of a way to better make sure I do keep my at least 5904 SPM rate over longer periods of time in case I temporarily stop. Like if I temporarily stop this belt for whatever reason, I'm gonna save here. Gleben science disposers, I suppose. So if I accidentally block this belt for a fraction of a second like this, we're gonna have a dip in the science graph. That will not happen, however, if I upgrade these belts to blue. If that happens, and I do the same thing, the science will just catch up again, and no SPM is lost in the lab. So I was thinking of upgrading the science all the way until the first splitter. That should be enough. We're gonna get temporarily more than 59. Oh, there you see the dip already. 5800 SPM instead of 59. We're gonna get more than 5904 SPM if we do that. So maybe I'll just not upgrade red science. So we'll throttle the entire labs by red science production 1800 SPM. And then if we temporarily make a mistake, we can always temporarily upgrade. We can upgrade it, but just not upgrade the first splitter, I suppose. I'm brainstorming now. Oh yeah, like that. I made the mistake and now science is dead. Or the science graph is dead. So this is throttled at red belt speed, but now it's throttled at blue belt speed. So we can use that to temporarily bump SPM up and down a bit. So if I make a mistake, I can overcompensate a bit, because I can produce more than 1800 red SPM on this belt for sure. So I think that's what we're gonna do. That will ensure the longevity of the science project, I think. Wait, what is 2 in a row? I have a good upload speed at the moment. Okay, my stream is still live. No double snap. Thanks Mark Free for subscribing exactly, as well as Wonky John. Looks like it didn't work. I didn't hear the sounds. Maybe I'm gonna blame everything now on Streamlabs. I can legitimately do that, I feel. Alright, so I'm gonna need a ton of blue belts then. For the upgrade. Oh, let's just grab half a chest of blues and some undergrounds. And that should do as well. I probably should use the upgrade planner here. Looks like the science pack that is lacking now is actually space science. The space science seems to be the bottlenecking science. So we could also just apply the throttle to space science instead of red science. I'm less likely to mess up red science though, as that is all the way up here. Space science goes through the system. But since space science has been bottlenecking all this time, I think I should keep space science as the bottleneck. Maybe I should not do the upgrade. I don't know. I think we can we can skip that. I like the red belts. I think we can skip the upgrade. We can do the upgrade if I ever mess up signs like that, then we can do the upgrade, but if I don't, then why, right? Alright, let's do the upgrade. We'll do the upgrade just to see how it works. Also, this belt will be full, red signs will be a little bit less visible that something is not working at full speed, I think. Thanks, Tollerboy, for the almost 2 years, man. I didn't see this one yet. Yeah, it's a clean version basically of the original crappy splitter. It's like the Hollywood remake of the original, where it all looks a little bit more slick, but a little bit less authentic, you know. I'm gonna do the upgrade, and if I don't like it, we'll revert back to that. The last save, so that means let's upgrade the space science belt first. So this doesn't change anything yet, we're still throttled over here, 1800 SPM. It's only when we go all the way back to this splitter over here. You know, this last belt, this will allow the throughput to be higher. There we go. We're not gonna be able to feed a blue belt. This is just gonna create gaps in there, but that's fine. It will put the... We will get these gaps on the belt if we do the upgrade. So then these belts are not going to be full, which is slightly annoying. But we should see SPM, yeah, there it already goes up by a lot. I'm not really sure this is the way to go. 5906. The laps can do like 5950 max, so we cannot reach actual 6k SPM with this setup. Also, all my builds are tailored to 5900 SPM, not 6, basically to 1800. A full red belt of physical science packs, so we cannot simply upgrade the belt speeds and think we get more SPM out of that. I think I don't like the upgrade, let's not do it. We can do it later and artificially repair our SPM graph for the long term, but if we don't mess up, we don't need to fix the problem. So let's just skip that for now. I like it more that these belts are looking full basically. I have prioritized the splitter to look full, so the ones which come from the bottom prioritize the first row, and the ones which come from the top prioritize the bottom row. So it's a little bit sketch, but let's see what happens when we get to the real technologies at this stage of the game. 60 seconds per science pack. We'll skip this part for now. Let me get the... some data tracker on the second screen so I can see whenever the stream cuts out. Looks like we have a good connection now. I still don't feel I get Gleba. I mean, the new player experience kind of stumped me. I did figure it out in the end with I recycled iron and copper at the end just to keep the belts flowing. And my Gleben solution for this base is basically don't bother with iron and copper bacteria. We're just making the science pack. We got a flowing setup for the science pack. Not really, we still have the weird noobish belts where we just let everything back up. But it kind of works here because we turn out, or the base is balanced around consuming almost a full belt side of these apples, and then we consume the products from that as well. But we are not bothering with iron and copper, we are importing rocket parts basically. From Fulgora, where we get them for free, so who am I to complain? We should have a rocket silo set somewhere over here. This is where all the rocket fuel, blue chips and low density structures are coming from. So they're free to ship to Gleba, they're free to borrow from Fulgora, and we can even ship them for free since the rockets are also made out of these 3 parts. So it's literally at no cost. We are trashing Fulgoran stuff if we are not shipping them to Gleba. Right now Fulgora is locked because the science is backed up, but we still should have like several hours worth of rocket fuel and whatnot to ship to Gleba. And then pretty soon we will be tacking with the EM science pack as well, and then this will start filling up again. Oh wait, no it won't. Because these are not getting made. Oh, that's interesting. That's a problem. Yeah, me with my big mouth, and no, it's not working actually. So what's the trawler doing? The trawler is above. Yeah, we're getting the signs on. We have the signs on board right now. But since we cannot grab these things, we are grabbing them as a backup from Nauvis, which I guess is what we're doing right now. So sure, I suppose. Let's decrease the timer just a little bit then, so we have a bit of time above Nauvis to launch the stuff up. It still will be alright. But yeah, that's a flaw in my Fulgoran design actually, so that's something we should fix. So probably we want to feed out these things again. Or perhaps make some buffer chests, which can also insert some rocket parts instead of having that flow on the belts. Yeah, I didn't think that one through too much, but we are not making the rockets, even though we have all the stuff stashed there. So now we are not sending the stuff in from Fulgora. Alright, that's something to worry about later. I do want to make a note about that real quick though. Fix Fulgoran Gleba rocket part supply. Rockets are not getting made. Use buffer chests or something. Alright, right now we have more important things to worry about, like my electric network is a mess. Like, what's this even doing here? That was just there for when we were overhauling the base, so we were gonna clean up a little, I think. While we... How is the freshness? It was like 70, 72%, 72.7, 73.7, 74.5. I think the freshness is already going up. We do gotta keep an eye on the Gleben science ship though. Alright. I guess we should maybe make a connection right here. for redundancy. What else can we... needs to be cleaned up? I think we got some stuff to do over there. Oh, it's actually not that bad of a mess. This can probably span. I don't think there's anything anymore which isn't doing anything. Ah wait, we are powering the light. I forgot about the light. And we got this mess over here. This is just powering lights. Okay, this is connected through the back, so we can get rid of these. A nice triangle there. What the heck is this? Now we are getting OCD. I think we didn't make that much of a mess as I thought we were. This one's not doing anything. It looks like we're already done with the cleanup. Is that Graben signs? Graben signs? 21k at the moment of landing. Okay, we still have some signs on board, so we didn't drop all signs immediately, which is good. Okay, temperature is down to 666 degrees. Throw some rocket fuel in there to heat it back up. Very important that the spaceship is warm. This is all old stuff. I don't think we should be doing much else, to be honest. Okay, looks like I cannot nearly waste as much time as I thought I could. I already did the plastic belts. This can just stay until we find a better purpose for that land, which is basically never. This steel is going to space platforms, which is filling up. We will need some of those for the Aquilo ship, so that's good as well. But it's not good. I think military science was not good anymore. Or was it? Or maybe now it's still good. I think we did a test and military science was starting to struggle. As soon as we went into the next tech, we're gonna send plastics to Vulcanus again, and then we're not gonna have enough coal to make grenades. So maybe what we want is a productivity plastic build. That's kind of the thing that's missing from the base. We've got a plastic build making 8 belts of plastic over here from 4 belts of coal, but we could be getting 27% or even 48% productivity on our plastics if we really want to. 48% sounds like a lot. Okay, we're coming back with the signs. 10k. We need to catch the moment it arrives in Nauvis and see how much signs it throws overboard. Here we are gonna be departing to Nauvis as well. I guess we'll pick up the missing rocket stuff on Nauvis for Gleba this time. Alright, so let's watch this then. Doesn't fit. Alright, here we are, moment of truth. We are dropping all the signs, or not all. We are dropping all the signs. That is not good. That means... okay, we have less than 12k left, so maybe I am grabbing too much. I think at some point that should automatically balance. I can probably get away with requesting less signs to Nauvis, to be honest. Freshness is definitely going up though. Okay, not that one because it's not active. This was like 70% flat before we did the system. If I request less signs in here, it's going to be fresher as well. And instead of just waiting around in the spaceship, it should be put in those chests over here. On the other hand, it will eventually reach an equilibrium, I suppose. I think we don't need to intervene there. This stream has been basically me seeing a potential problem and then decide we don't need to fix it. Science throughput, we don't need to fix it. Gleben science, we don't need to fix it. So what do we do? Do we just go for the... I think let's do the plastic build. I think that's a good plan, especially if we can get it done in 1 hour before we start sending plastics to Vulcanus again for the purple science pack we're making over there. That would be good. So let's go do that. So let's actually just balance the inventory then. I still like these too much myself, so I'm gonna grab those. Hey, much, eh? Thanks for the raid. And for the 2 years of subscriptions, thanks a bunch. How have you been? We have been doing well here in this playthrough so far. I don't know if you already saw the biolabs, but this is now the new look of Nauvis, the hammerhead or something. Got Factorioed last morning. I saw somebody, I think it's Orbit OST, if I remember correctly. releasing Factorio themed songs, and one of them is called Sleep is a Bottleneck. Pretty on point. So check that out on YouTube. I lost my train of thought. We're gonna do plastics. Let's try to remain focused. Right, so currently we're making plastics like this. Efficiency modules. Which basically means we're gonna need some power over here. Which basically means 1.6 coal goes in and double the plastic comes out. Of course, we could throw productivity modules in there. And now we get out almost 3 plastics for every coal we put in. Almost, but not quite. That's almost like 50. Let's call this 50% productivity bonus effectively. It also uses a lot less petroleum gas. And I guess oil is stacking up right now since we've been doing all of the cheap techs like fish breeding and non-oily techs like rocket turret, which don't require anything advanced. But that's going to change soon, and then we're going to be drinking more oil than we produce again. So saving on oil, not a bad thing. Let's check the simplest solution first. Can I just change these modules out for some productivities and still produce enough? We are having 5 of these to load half a red belt. So we need 3 plastics per thing coming out. This does 2.6. This does 2.84. I guess this will do 3. Yeah, this does 3.2 as well. That's Mark 1 productivities. Only 18%, that is hardly worth it for the pollution output. I think we're gonna need to look into something beaconed. So let's put a single speed beacon there. Let's use the good stuff. 17 plastics a second. And we need to input 6 coal. So this could feed the entire half belt of plastics all by itself, whereas before we needed 5 of these. So that's the same thing. Small issue is we do need to put We do need to put 6 coal a second in and take out 17 plastics. Coal in could be done by 3 inserters. It's less than 6, so that should be alright. And plastics out could be, we could go all around. How much do we actually need? If we go the full If we take the full 17, we would need 9 inserters. Oh, 9 inserters, that's not that bad. So basically we can do something like this. And that's already adequate. But if we are gonna be using this to basically make 1 belt of plastic, which is probably what we're gonna be doing, if we take 6 inserters of these, can I get away with doing this? So that basically adds 3 times 1.34. If this is more than 15, we are good. Right, 15.5, so that will do. This can fit in here. And it's all powered by a single power line. So that theoretically should be our plastics build. That's a belt of plastics. That's a full belt of plastics. Alright. So then we would need that. The pipes. Alright, we do need the pipes, so we need to move this out a bit. What about the pipes? The pipes don't necessarily need to be on this. On this side, they could be up here. I think we're gonna keep it compact though, so like this. If we're gonna mirror it, we want this in the middle. Alright. Alright, let's grab that. 44 and 7. Oh, I still have the logistics things on. So that could be the entire plastics build. So this is equivalent to what we build over here. Even though it's much smaller. Question is, are we gonna build it here? Or am I gonna build it in the base? The thing is, my coal is already being belted out here now to the plastics area. And the petroleum gas is coming there as well. It's the easiest to build it here, I suppose. Coal's coming in. And we have the 8-belt plastic bus coming in the base, which is a nice look. I probably don't want to change that. We should probably fix this in here as well. We got blue belts now, so we no longer need to cross like this. So I think we're gonna build it in the original spot. In that case, we should definitely get it done before we start needing a ton of plastics again, because once we get into purple signs, we're gonna be using most of those belts to move signs around again. So, but now it's hardly flowing at all, so we can just use the belt buffer while we remodel this area. What am I missing? A productivity module. Alright, good to know. First belt crossing? No, now it's just going to be a regular belt crossings. I think. Do we have lights in there? We do. Right, and this one should have lights as well, I suppose. That's easiest lights of my life. Yeah, there we go. That's the new 8 belts of plastics. Maybe we don't need to build it in exactly the same spot. Maybe we can build it... Can you stop zooming, mouse? Symmetrically on this chunk border. All the belts seem to be able to flow out. One. 2. Oh, 3. Okay, obsolete was right. This is not necessarily a cursed belt crossing. 4. Okay, that's the 4 new belts of plastics right there. This side should fit. Beautiful. Alright, new plastics built. Done. How much power will that use? 1.27 megawatts times 16. That is not a lot. Plus 1.28 megawatts for the beacons or something. So 20 megawatts of plastics. We don't have that much power space anymore, but 20 megawatts we should be able to afford, I feel. So productivity plastic build. But the real question is, can I build that over there without polluting any biters or whatnot? And the answer is yes, because we long since neutralized the rest of this area. So let's just grab it. Ah, wait, yeah, the coal inputs. Wait, 1 second. How much coal are we gonna need? We're gonna need more than one red belt of coal. Could calculate how much we need. It says 5.74 to produce 17. So 5.74 divide by 17, multiply by 15, because that's what's gonna go on the half side of the belt. So we need 5.06 coal per second per plant. We got 16 of those. That's 81 coal. 81 coal is less than 3 belts, so that basically is going to save us over a belt of. It's going to save us over a belt of coal. All right, I'll be able to figure something out then with. There's space for 3 belts down the middle. We could upgrade the belt color as well. Could be 2 blue belts, for instance. Maybe we'll take a couple blue belts just to... Yeah, let's take some blue belts so we can build it. We also need some extra red belts to reroute the coal and whatnot. I don't think we are gonna take the green belts. This is all my green belts. I don't really have enough to do anything impressive, I would say. We'll just take the undergrounds for the length, but that's about it. We're gonna be building something involving pipes, so let's take some of that. And then the inventory is about full. Alright, let's go. I think signs are still okay. How is Gleba? I cannot really monitor that too well. As long as we're here, we can still... I think the coal belt's gonna come in from the other side. As long as we're here, we can still manually put some of that Gleben signs back into the labs if we need to. It's just jumping around a lot, I think. Yeah, we're still good. We're still good. It just doesn't look like it on this screen. It jumps around so much. Alright. No worries. I did not do anything dumb with these pipes, I think. So let's build it. Triple belt weave. That doesn't work with the beacons, I think. Alright, so we need 3 belts of coal coming in. I think it's gonna be as simple as just side loading it in at some point. If we're gonna be side loading, we do need the green belts actually. Alright, so we need 3 belts of coal. When is the first belt gonna be consumed? Let's power this first so the blinking stops. And the lights switch on. So if each uses 5, we're gonna consume over 30 coal by the first 6. So perhaps I do want to do this. And then upgrade this to green from here on out. It doesn't need to be green all the way to the end. Because these 6 will do 30 again. Alright, so after these each 30, we're gonna need 50 or so for the rest. This can handle 60, so that's good. So these are going to require only 40. I guess we can 1 green, 1 blue, 1 red. I think we can even end with a yellow belt if we really want to. Because these will only require 10. And we should be drawing off both sides of the belt equally, and if not, everything is going to go onto those belts anyway. Alright, so I guess it is time to reverse those coal belts. And I guess we're picking up this. This is actually gonna grab us some of those expansion chunks back. So let's switch on the minimap. We have the minimap on. We should be able to see that. Especially if I first grab these belts over here. It's going to be only visible at the last moment, I think. Now we should see a bunch of those circles turning green again. Let's go for it. There we go. That's actually like 10 circles or so. So that is actually... maybe we should not be postponing that so much. I guess we'll take the belts. But not the power, because... okay, let's check. It still has power, right? I'm not going to clean up the entire Nauvis, but this section just seems appropriate because we're going to use this line to bring in the plastics, I suppose. We're gonna keep that side functional, I think. We could just bring it in on 2 blue bells or something. Keep things symmetric. We'll sideload 1 red belt with priority. It could be like that. We do need the pipes to connect somewhere as well. We got petroleum gas coming right here. So that is probably gonna be where we're grabbing that from. From where is it coming? It's coming from over here. Ooh, I think we need to get rid of that pump. This pump cannot provide enough petroleum gas for all the plastics, I think. I think this is just connected directly, yeah, through 3 pumps over here. So we gotta move that pump over to here, basically. Just quickly power it for now. This is going to use 114 petroleum gas times 16, I guess divided by 17 multiplied by 15 again. We're going to need 1600 petroleum gas a minute. These pumps do 1200. And it still sends petroleum gas to the base for the other science packs. So we definitely want this pump to be after the plastic deviation. Alright. I guess we did not need to delete all of these belts then. So let's restore that. Those are empty, not really important, but well. So this is only going to plastics. We can basically steal all of it. We can just leave the old build up, I suppose, for memories. And we just need to design something that feeds into there at blue belt base. That could be one. Can we do that symmetrically? I think we can. Yeah, that'll be all right. Oh, stop it right there. That should work. Lasers for the Aquilo ship, is it possible without absurd damage research? It appears to be the case. Instead of an absurd number of damage researches, you just need an absurd number of laser turrets that does the same thing. I think we're kinda ready to switch it on. We still do need to connect the output belts. We have some weird system going on. We only have 7 plastics belts coming into the base, not 8. We don't need 8, but we do. Would look nicer if we had 8. But we don't really have space to do the 8 belt anywhere normal. We could upgrade one of these, or 2 of these belts. 2 blue belts should be the same as 3 red belts. I didn't bring enough blue belts for that. But maybe we'll upgrade. Yeah, maybe we'll do 2 blue belts. 3 red belts and 2 blue belts. And then just bring that to the base as such. And then just split it out at the base again. These 4 basically can go into here. And these 4 can go onto here. They all go to the base like separately. It's a big circle of belts apparently. So we don't need to do any rebelting for the rest then. We just need to upgrade some to the appropriate color. There is no expansion chunks to preserve on this side. So let's not put too much thought into that. Yeah, I should have put a little bit more thought into that. Let's end up between a power pole. So we could go here, that doesn't fit. Could go here. I guess we'll just go here. I've got a fake 8. Yeah, that is a bad, that is a crappy word. Do we do abomination or I think we just gap these off and feed these in as such. That way these stay full, this will switch off. And we'll do the same over here. So if 2 of these belts are gonna be blue, which ones are it gonna be? They should be the belts that are on the side when they arrive. Oh, this is gonna be a bit of a puzzle. Can we do this? And then just cheat and find the answers of the test right here. Yeah, we can. Right, so it is these 3 belts. That's good. It is the bottom 3 belts, but which one? So now I have the bottom 2 over here. Is that the bottom 2? No. So how about the top 2? Okay, yeah, the top 2 belts will be the bottom 2 belts here, so these 2 belts should be upgraded to blue. So basically, this belt becomes that one. I guess to start off, we'll do this. But we do want to upgrade these 2 belts, basically. That is what we want. Alright, I think we should switch it on before the belt buffer runs out. It's not going very quick, but you know, it is time. Finally, we're designing something in the actual game when the time is running. Prod plastic build. Fairly expensive actually, but it uses Mark III productivities, 48 of them, and then a bunch of, like a handful of speed tree modules as well. On the other hand though, coal is arguably our most limiting resource now. It would be stone if we did purple signs on Nauvis as well, but we did that on Vulcanus. So now coal for plastics and military signs is the hardest bottleneck, since it doesn't benefit as much from Alright, it reached the end of the belt. It doesn't benefit as much from foundries and whatnot. The production chains are shorter and there are no good recipes which consume coal. I guess, oh, I didn't even look at that. We are done now, but doesn't the cryo plant... Oh, that's beautiful. Read chat. I left bottleneck pump in place. Alright, then we will be able to see. You can see this is pumps now at 1200 a second. So now we're eating all the coal. And this pipe is empty. So indeed, now this pipe is full, because we kinda have almost instant transmission to this point. And this is just pumping to the base now. Oh, that was a cool moment. I kinda messed it up, so let's film that, let's bring that in the image a little bit better. First of all, not screw that up. Kinda like that everything switched on at the same time, but we can task a bot to place that pipe while we have a nice zoom level, something like this. Alright, here we go. Man, that is a sight. That's 8 belts of plastic, 8 red belts of plastics. Yeah, I definitely feel way less limited by not having fast inserters and stack size upgrades than I originally saw, that's for sure. Oh, hey SDB. Working on the number rounding again. Thanks so much again for the 16 set, I suppose, of 25 gift subscriptions. Holy moly. We're gonna have a lot of train sounds upcoming. Well, that's nice that that means a lot of people won't have to watch ads anymore. Right, so we basically hijacked the existing plastics belt. This thing is now idle. We'll just leave it up as with everything. That should work at full speed, so I think we are golden. Oh man, that's gonna be 25. 25 sounds. Holy moly. Alright, I don't have enough blue belts, but I think we are gonna merge this real quick. So basically all I gotta do is... I can hardly hear myself think. We gotta split this into two. And those will be going into the blue belts. And this is just gonna underground past. And I guess if we make it fit a bit better, it can be like this. And then we just need to input priority from the belt that already was on. And that is the new one. The splitters should probably be blue to be able to keep up with the output. So that is how it's going to be merged. Sound just keep on going. Counter only updated for 10. We have been having weird effects all stream already. Oh yeah, the counter did only update for 10. That didn't happen before, right? We'll see if it updates. Maybe it updates in two parts. Alright, so do I make an upgrade? I think I'll make an upgrade planner for this. We should only have those in there. We'll see how far we get with what we have on hand. Real pros have more hotbars, but I need to just manually put on the bar every time what I want on there. It updated, alright. Nice. These underground belts under these dead trees are becoming more expensive every time we update them. Yeah, ads do suck. I would recommend either getting a premium subscription or just installing an ad blocker, depending on the financial stage you are in at your life. But there's absolutely no I don't know the English term. No, you are justified using an ad blocker. You should not let people tell you otherwise. We're out of bells. We are left off over here. I think we'll just sprint back real quick and just grab ourselves a couple thousand. Actually, we should restart production of blue bells. Since the heavy oil is now disconnected, since we redid the base, so we are no longer making any blue bells. I'm pretty sure at least these will be out. We don't have enough lubricant anymore. First though, we'll try not getting sidetracked. We're gonna get a ton of red bells back, so we don't necessarily need to keep those. Okay, that's more bells than we'll probably need. But did I almost get sniped by the Johnnies there? The military science cliffing me again. No ad block on TV. I'm not that technically savvy myself to know exactly how to do it. I don't have ad block on my phone and I absolutely hate it. Okay, we're getting a little bit in the details. The belt weaving will still work with blue belts, I suppose. It's getting pretty colorful in here. Oh, this is unnecessarily expensive. Okay, we also gotta unmerge them again once we get up there. Ooh, the sounds have finished. Thanks again, SDB. I don't have a train yet, which I can name in your favor, like in the 10k SPM streams. 10k SPM, man, we're almost there. 10k SPM in Factoria 1.1, that was my mega base there, the last stream before this one, I think. 10k SPM the hard way in Factoria 1.1. Now we already got it just basically without any big trouble, really. Man, these biter homes are getting more modern by the minute. Alright. So here we go. I suppose we can do something similar. So just like this belt bypasses. We output priority on its own belt. I don't think we even need to do that, but let's do it anyway. And then whatever scraps go through, go onto the 8th belt. And now we have 8 belts of plastics, I suppose. Okay, we can also fix this situation now. We are a little bit out of inventory space. Let's try to not get our inventory completely filled with stuff. Okay, we're using Copperella snail space. I want to upgrade these to the blue ones. And just let the plastics flow through. Alright, so did bring the blue undergrounds to do it. Alright, that's going to be the 8th belt of plastics. Now that we're here at the iron, I guess we'll also do this one. And let the iron flow straight. Alright, modernized. And that means no more fake belt of plastic. 8 actual belts of plastics from less than 3 belts of coal. So we can now do this from about 80 plastics, from 80 coal a second, instead of 120, so pretty decent. 2 belts missing. Right. Thanks. I'm not sure how much resources we actually need still. I think there's another belt missing somewhere. Or why is this specific iron belt not full? That looks like a yellow belt somewhere in the system. Let's follow it all the way back. There's weirdly spaced out iron on this belt. Okay, we're gonna go half speed so we can actually not lose the belt in the scrolling. But that might go back very far. I don't know where this belt is even coming from. I'm gonna bet you there's a yellow belt somewhere here. Don't tell me it's like 2 kilometers away from my base. Where are we going? Yeah, we're going all the way, it seems. Did I even use yellow belts so far out? Still... the gaps are still in there. Dang. Some of these bells are quite long, don't you think? Still? Here we are. There we are. I see them. 5 yellow belts. Two kilometers away. Well, let's go fix that. That could be important later, you know, when we are researching the expensive techs like the Aquilo planet itself. And we're gonna potentially need everything at the same time. I think we also still should make a new coal mine for plastics and grenades. Despite us now saving one belt, we are still running out of coal. And we are going to be producing a lot of grenades for military science still as well. I'm just basically assuming I can run everywhere, but I should be a little bit careful. Okay, so I should get rid of... that reminds me... I left some stuff up here. Gotta get rid of this as well. Is that just gonna... I guess it's gonna be all the time there, alright. Alright, let's fix this. Okay, let's follow the belt back. Alright, the rest seems to be all red, so that's good. Okay, back to the base. Wait, what's that? Oh, wait, I forgot about that. So I saw a small red dot on the map. I think, what? A biter? That should not be. But we got that guy over there. Not doing anything in particular. That's just a decorative biter. I have some leftover. Ghost things left and right. Okay, rocket turret is almost in. I think at that time I want to measure my oil level again, because soon after that we're gonna be using more oil. All my oil fields are 100% depleted, by the way. So, oh, there was some Johnny. Do we just see how it goes with the coal? I kind of want to see how it goes with the coal before I make a new mine. So we'll start researching advanced asteroid processing first, I suppose. We could grab the Mark III efficiency module. To save some power in the base. We will need some more production still, and we are kind of pushing on the limit. We also could get those tool belt equipments actually, though I don't think I'm gonna do that. At least not yet. Maybe they will be useful on Aquilo, but so far I haven't felt the need for a larger inventory just yet. But if we get the mech armor, we probably want to get that as well. I'm not sure we're gonna get the mech armor though, so we'll have to think about that. I think we should not wait for the mech armor, to be honest. That's another like 14 hours of research deviation. We could just be... I mean, it's going to be annoying to build on Aquilo with the Power Armor Mark II and not be able to fly. But it's going to be 14 hours worth of technology annoying. It might be. It might be. The 5 million tool belt is better. Yeah, I don't know. I want to. I keep telling myself it's a bad idea. But I do want to get mech armor, if I'm being completely honest. Let's rebalance a little. bricks, plastics, what else? Should probably get rid of some of these things. Like I'm either using these or these. Yeah, let's just keep it, I guess. Alright. So, that was actually pretty useful. I think we can get rid of the entire history of oil stuff. We see it has been going between 5k and 15k, then down again. Now it's going up again. We are at 18,800. It's going to go up more. We're gonna update that, but at least I have something in there. Alright, so what's next? Do I need to do anything else in the base still, or can we start on the Aquilo spaceship? Let's have a quick look at how it's going with the different ships. This is the Glebin ship. Okay, 73. We are not that much fresher in here. 75. It's a couple percent though. Okay, we have reached the point where we are burning the spoilage. How is Gleba doing? Are the silos fast enough? I think we should be alright. We're arriving now. Actually, are we alright? This one is not even full yet. This one is still being filled. These rockets are already being launched. Are these inserters going to steal the signs? Before this one is full. This one was a little bit late as well. They are not swinging yet. Okay, I think we're gonna make it. Oh yeah, we did make it. The 10th rocket goes now. I guess then we'll be waiting. If this one doesn't get filled, we'll just be waiting for the first one to fill up. That's alright as well, and then it will just go on the second try. I think we should be okay. Now, how are the two Vulcanus ships doing? 600 seconds passed over there. Alright, they are still kind of in sync. Soon this is gonna fire up again though, and Nauvis is gonna get it a bit rougher. Yellow tech from Nauvis and purple tech from Vulcanus. So that's gonna drain our oil pretty much at the maximum pace, I suppose. And then all that Aquilo does itself is bring Vulcan signs and EM signs into the mix, which don't really have a effect on the Norwegian oil supply. We will be shipping a few more plastics to Vulcanus to launch the rockets. But we will be spending less oil on making rocket parts for Gleba, I suppose. So I think it's a net positive, really. You really want to explore Aquilo with platform? Oh, I don't know. I have never played through Aquilo yet at all. Except for the new player experience, and there I did have the mech armor, so I have no idea what kind of frozen heck I'm gonna be into without the mech armor. I don't know, I kind of want to not plan ahead of time for Aquilo and just try to wing it. That's probably a bad idea. I'm gonna you can softlock yourself there, right? I'm gonna be as dumb as not shipping in concrete and then finding out I cannot make it and I cannot build my rocket silo or something. Let's have a quick sneak preview. What we get as soon as we research Aquilo, we get we can pump the oil ocean and make it into ice and ammonia. I remember that part. There was oil. There's oil and there are like 2 or 3 fluids on Aquilo I forgot. There's this, I think there's 3, right? 3 different fluids. Man, I really don't know anything. That's what makes it so... That's why I don't really want to look ahead. Water. Water is not easy though. Water is... I guess we can melt the ice into water. The oil is pumpable from pump jacks. We need heat pipes. We need a heat source. Oh man, yeah, I think we're gonna need to at least unlock Aquilo first, and then maybe before then we can figure out what the heck we need for that. And maybe in that time we can research the mech armor. And by the time we're actually ready to build everything, we will maybe have the mech armor. I don't know. Thing is, everything post Aquilo takes Aquilo signs, so we're gonna need Aquilo signs to have that set up. So we do need some other things to research, so it could be the mech armor. We can just try to design in real time without actually testing it and just see if it works once we arrive on the planet. Hopefully with the mech armor, and then we can get some backlog technologies in there, like maybe we can upgrade to Mark II roboports or whatnot. We can afford ourselves some luxuries. We can get the spider. Could we get the Spidertron to move around on Aquilo? It still cannot walk on water. I guess we need a lot of resources for Aquilo as well, so we're gonna need to explore. And somebody told me trains don't freeze, so we did research the fluid wagon already in preparation for that. So we don't need to bring a giant heat pipe network all over the planet like I did in my new player experience. That was not recommendable, even for just the nearest resource. We have the means to research Spidertrons right now. We have all of this. But yeah, then I would rather get the mech armor for twice the price than the spider. And just fly. It's so peaceful, man, flying around on Aquilo, I remember. Just flying over the oil ocean. Very nice. Alright, I'm gonna look ahead at what I need to do to unlock the science pack. And we need to ship in holmium. Then we can... there's lithium brine. I'm gonna look. We should be able to see somewhere which resources are there, right? Contains ammoniacal solution, fluorine vent, lithium. Okay, there's 3 fluids. There's oil, lithium, and fluorine vent. So 3 pump jackable resources and 1 offshore pumpable resource, and that's everything. We get some ice rocks, all types of asteroids. Bots are very energy heavy. Rare bots might come in useful since they can go twice the distance before they go to recharge, and actually going out of your way to recharge is costly since that also takes 5 times the power. Bots might be useful for some use cases though. The fusion reactors and the cryo plants need to be made there, as well as the science pack. Okay, so what do we need to unlock it? We just need lithium, brine, and ammonia with holmium. So we need to bring some holmium. Then we can make the lithium plate. That's easy. Once we craft the lithium plate, we get the cryo plant. And we can do the cooling fluid. That's more lithium. That's more of the stuff we already had to make. Then to unlock the science pack, we need to craft a cryo plant. So that's not too difficult. Basically, all we need to do is make some lithium plates and bring the stuff to make a cryo plant. We can unlock the science pack at least. And once we have it unlocked, we can efficiently design a setup, I suppose. On normal plates, not having it is not so big deal. Yeah, I think too we're gonna need a ton of resources, and the pump jacks. I guess we can module the pump jacks. We can productivity module to drain the percentage slower, and we can speed the beacon to get the speed out of there. I don't even know if those resources are infinite. I don't think they are. I think something ran out. I guess oil is going to work the same, but the other two resources... I don't think I can use my infinite oil trick like I'm using on Nauvis for these two. Air pump jacks are good on Aquilo. Yeah, I guess so. Alright, let's not look ahead of time to designs and how the planet looks and whatnot. We're just gonna explore. We're gonna go there. Once we unlock the planet, we're gonna fly there, go down to the surface, look around a bit, see what kind of resources there are, then we'll unlock the science pack, figure out what we need, what quantities we need for 1800 science a minute, and then hope that it's possible to make it, basically, with the resources we have easy-ish access to. I kinda have to go for 1800. It's the last science pack we need on the way to Solar System Edge, and there's literal millions and millions of science to research, so I cannot really... There's not much other text to research. Like if I set up 900 SPM and store it in chest, I need an equivalent amount of science packs in other text after we build it. Before I can research myself to the Solar System Edge. We gotta go for 1800. There's just no shortcuts on the last science pack, I don't think. So how much do we need? 2 million to unlock Solar System Edge. 2 million for fusion, that's 4. 4.5. Is that everything? 4.5 million. That's not too much. Really? Yeah, only quantum processor and fusion reactor. Who needs railguns anyway? We might need a railgun, that's another 2 million. But let's say 4.5. Let's go optimistic. 4.5 to get the tech. That is not too much. Divided by 2, divided by 1.64 for the biolabs and the productivity modules in there. So we need 1.4 million physical science packs. If divided by 1800 SPM, that is 13 hours of production. That is not crazy. That is not too crazy. Alright, I hope that was not for me. If so, we'll have a break soon. Epic quality will hurt rare production. Yeah, I think so too. Epic quality, I think epic quality is the worst quality in the game. Like the relative gains, where is the quality? Wait. I don't know. There it is. I think epic quality is the worst quality in the game. Let's find something which has a... Let's take the accumulator. Alright, so... uncommon quality doubles the energy capacity, and rare does give you one third on top of that. Epic gives you a quarter. And then legendary is basically 2 steps again. So legendary is kind of worth it because it's like a double step. But epic is kind of meh. Which is basically true for all the stat increases. It's times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4. And then it's like times 6 for legendary. Not times 6, but you get the idea, right? From 3 to 4 is a relatively small step. And from 4 to 6 is another big step again. It also goes for like modules, you know. I got plus 16% now, plus 19% would be better, but is it really that much better? 25% though, that's respectable again. But yeah, getting legendary quality, I don't think we're gonna be doing that. Alright, it's time for rocket turrets, so we're gonna make the tech switch soon. 4 more minutes. I think we'll design the Aquilo ship in that case. And I guess we'll build it as well. So it can start loading up. So as soon as we get the Aquilo planet discovered, we can just fly there, explore around with our power armor. We do need to make sure we don't soft lock ourselves. We need to bring a rocket silo, I guess some concrete so we can place the rocket silo, and some stuff so we can launch ourselves up again. But we don't really need to bring anything else, just an exploration package. Then we'll go back to Nauvis and consider our options, I suppose. Right. Let's save here. That's enough of a look ahead into Aquilo. Rocket turret almost done. About to start design Aquilo ship for exploration mission .sof. There is one resource that is fixed. I don't remember which one it was. So one of the Aquilo resources works like oil then, and one just runs out. If I understand that correct, right? Yeah, this the planet view is a mod for these planets. It's visible planets in space. I really like it. It should be part of the base game. Alright, so this will cause a bump. I think we'll have a low point in science here, because it takes some time for the bags to travel down the end of the belt again. These are actually not too spoiled, I think. Oh, here comes the trawler requesting the rocket parts for Gleba, since we're not making them on Volgora at the moment. Didn't think we would be using that, but apparently we are. Because I forgot to feed the rocket silos. Right. Let's send up... I have 2 more space platform packs. Build new space platform. Very, very creative. There goes the space platform. Why do we hate script Mike so much? Yeah, we're kinda in a... The battle is getting heated, isn't it? Alright, the platform is there. It should be alright. Okay, it's at the top. There is nothing to destroy anything. I deleted my Glab and Rocken silos. They actually turned out to be not so much in the way. This should take less than 2 minutes, I hope. 3 minutes. I think I cut down... Looks like I want to go lower on this. It has to fly more often. In case it needs to wait, the plastic ships will go first if those are there from Vulcanus. So I guess it's better for this ship to fly a bit more often then. Alright, that's the last load and we're off to Gleba. Okay, Gleba still has enough rocket parts left, I think, to not run out before we arrive. Tech is completing. Alright, so now we're gonna drop a bit. Until these labs get signs again. There comes the space signs, now we're consuming at half the rate. So we should be alright. Right, so those tech switch dips are to be expected. Hopefully they won't have too much of an effect on the long term. If not, we will need to do the upgrade or something. But let's go. We'll first design the spaceship. Let's go stand. Let's stay at the labs. So we can periodically check or something. What's going on there? Okay, we do want to check the oil situation right now. 19,182. It's gonna take a while until we're actually sending plastics to Vulcanus again and switching on here. Even though we are using purple signs, we still have the spaceships full of purple signs. So we're gonna start sending it down soon, but for now they are still waiting. Actually, think we even have too large of a stock of purple signs on Nauvis at the moment. We request 150k, we got 176. So it's gonna take some time for that to switch on. The LDS circles are busy again, the nice pair. This one is for science and this one is for rocket parts, which we just sent. I guess that's good, because we're gonna get ourselves at least some of those rare LDSs from these quality guys here. Alright. Without further ado, after all that ado, how do we design an Aquilo spaceship? Let's switch that off, first of all things. So I'm gonna start by just grabbing the ship I got, my personal spaceship. And I'm just gonna copy that. Because the basics of the designs were okay. The zooming is a little bit awkward. Alright, so we did do a test flight a little. I think we found that we basically want to upgrade all the turrets to rare ones. But we don't really need the solar, but we don't want to override the solar because we'll just end up shooting too much to the side. So let's make an upgrade planner. Of course, designing in space is a little awkward. Like this, we'll upgrade all the laser turrets on board to rare ones. Ah yeah, and we didn't want more laser turrets because, as it turns out, 105 turrets is about the maximum turrets that can be shooting at one time by the amount of steam turbines we have on board. We were using a lot of water and stuff. And I remember the heat exchangers are I think we had more. Yeah, we have more steam turbines than heat exchangers. So I seem to remember, man, it's been a while. We have a 7-second steam buffer just in the system to keep all laser turrets firing at all times. But if we add a steam buffer, I think it was about 30 seconds of continuous firing, so we can take away the solar panels. And with this steam, this 100k steam, the steam turbines have access to more steam than the heat exchangers can produce live. And that should keep the lasers firing non-stop for about 30 seconds, which should be enough to destroy like a cluster of large asteroids, I think. For the rest, I don't think we're gonna change anything on the front. But since we were using a lot of water, we might want to make some more of those ice cube melters. We do not need this belt, this steel belt kind of thing. I think we're gonna get rid of those. We can basically put these down here where this belt section is. Be a little bit precise about it. All right. will make a hole, but I guess we can do that. These power lines, do they have wire conditions? Doesn't. Okay, it does look like it, so we might have to fix that. Now these belts can be whole. We don't see the mouse over with the modules inside, so that's kinda annoying. Can I do this? Alright, so this needs 4 ice cubes a second. The question is, can I make that faster? I can fork in about 6 ice cubes a second, so yes, I could make it faster. This does 5.4 ice cubes. Then we would need to upgrade this guy to be faster as well. And this guy I cannot build on Nauvis. I'll just keep it as is. It's a little bit of a waste of expensive modules as well. We can potentially like add one more. Since now we can do this. I guess we could do one more. It will nicely fit in there. Okay, then we definitely don't need to upgrade to Mark III. And then we can fill the rest with cargo base. It looks to be fitting better this way. Not sure how much we need, but this is how much fits. This ship might be pretty slow with the lasers on the big asteroids, so we might want to bring a lot of science at a time. So we don't need to fly out as much. We could potentially fit some more lasers in there. The wire conditions are just to just switch off the laser turrets if we are moving. That's all the wire conditions there are. I do remember we want this to be slower, as slow as possible, in fact. Which means we need to make some regular productivity modules, because these just slow down the machine as much as possible. So 37.5, and that will be slowed down by 45%. And then we don't want modules in the beacons, basically. That was the idea. And that will slow the ship down enough to not die, basically. We can still request two better ones. as well as better productivity modules. 6, I suppose. This is just a reminder for myself what I want to put in there. What do I have now? I think I have Mark 2s in there, right? Yeah, we got Mark 2s in there. Mark 3s would be even faster. But let's add these as well. Right, the fuel cell supply might be a bit high, but then again we're gonna fly to Aquilo. So now we have more water production. We have a steam buffer. I guess we're gonna keep the same shape of laser turrets. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, we're not gonna change that, I think. We got this thing. We probably do not necessarily want to... Yeah, we do. For the startup phase, we do want to remodel these. Later, of course, we want to remodel these once we get to Aquilo, but we'll have to change that as we go along. For now, we need a lot of ice cubes to fill all the water tanks, so let's work on that. Is that everything then? I think we might be... That might be the Aquilo ship right there. Yeah, we are going to be limited by the amount of fuel we make. I think the quality is not going to help us getting more thrust, since we also consume more fluid. So I think the thrust to fuel consumption ratio is the same for all qualities. Or not. Maybe not. We're going to run at a more efficient rate, I suppose. So we're going to burn our fuel more efficiently, so we might indeed get a little bit of extra speed out of that. So that means we could further slow down by downgrading to regular quality engines and maybe just have a single one instead of 5. And we can still take out some engines. I think for our first flight this is gonna do. And then we can fine-tune the ship maybe a bit later. We have a lot of time to kill now. All the sciences are up and we have expensive techs to get through. Alright, so we do have 5903. Because I should have started on a 60-second tech, but oh well. So, is this all then? Aquilo ship. We cannot really test it until we unlock the planet, unfortunately. We are not allowed to go beyond yet. Okay, let's put it here. Do we start launching space platforms? I guess we do. Why not? So let's make another blueprint which just has the space platforms. Alright, that way. Let's make a save. Aquilo ship V1.0 designed. Alright. Just as an intermission, I see this LDS belt is not full. It's probably just not balanced correctly. So it looks like the preferred side for the insert is the left side. So all I need to do is this basically. That should compress the belt over the entire length eventually. Anyway, we can now delete this and only paste the platforms. Then we can request the 3000 missing platforms, and those should be delivered by the bots automatically. So that's gonna drain some of the rocket parts. The house power. $45 gigajoules. Alright. I think we need to do some power saving on Nauvis as well. Alright, we can then, I guess we'll do the same thing again. We've got the chest. We put in the blueprint. I will delete the platforms, I suppose. No, let's not do it. We can just paste the blueprint, and then the bots should bring us basically everything for the ship. And then we can make the missing parts. That's a lot of green, so that is a good sign. Alright, a lot of green, but some stuff we don't have. Mainly the nuclear reactor again, I suppose. As well as some quality spaceship components, which we are just gonna make. So, it is time to stash my personal inventory in a chest yet again. Let's do this one time, so we get the exact amounts. And then we can start deleting requests which are complete. We do want to... Do we want to update all the laser turrets? I guess we kinda do. So we need 34 more. 34 more. 141. And then we can delete those. we should probably update the blueprint then. We did make an upgrade planner, so hop, that's 141. All laser turrets upgraded. These are gonna be off when flying anyway, the ones on the side. But once we're in orbit around Aquilo, I guess we want these to shoot as early as possible at asteroids coming in. So let's update them. Okay, so nuclear reactor. We got those. Exactly. Reactor, heat pipes, turbines, and where's the other heaty things over here? So we got the belts, inserters, pipes, underground belts. We need a cargo base. We got the modules, the belts, the modules, these. More rocket parts. We got the regular crushers. For what do we need all the advanced crushers? We'll take a look at that. 8 solar panels, which we have. We don't have the chemical plants. I guess I stole all of them. So we can fix that. That's the 8 chemical plants, modules, splitters. We need to make these modules. Oh, that's going to be an adventure. More space platform parts, things. Alright, the accumulator and the space platform starter pack. Then we want... Right, the ship is building itself nicely. 1.2k platforms left to go. It's actually not that big of a ship, only 3k platforms. Have already started spending a lot of plastics? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Purple science is still idle. Somehow. Right, ships have started flying. Okay, we are gonna start launching our purple science now. Since we have spent it from this ship. So that's gonna start the plastic cycle pretty soon. A lot of lag in the system there. This is what we need to make. And there was another trick you could do with adding... Should be able to add fuel beacon options. Oh wait. That's a group, right? So that's gonna change here as well. Alright. But at least I know I can add... We can add fuel beacon options to this chest, right? Just like this. That might have been a mistake. Let's switch that off. These went in the trash slots. $26 and 2. All right. I'll just do that by hand. We don't trash unrequested, so 4 of those. 4 more of those. 4 more of those. 6 of those. 6 of those. And we probably want to make these still. Okay. We need 2 more chemical plants as well. But they have to be... They have to be the rare ones. Or I have the not rare ones. Alright, I think that is approximately correct. We're just gonna roll with that. If we're missing something, we're missing something. I wonder if I can use the good productivity modules which I have and just downgrade to not rare thrusters. Why not create another power plant on Nauvis? I would have to find another biter base to build it around. I'm just gonna add yet another... I'm gonna add a second chest. We want some things in reserve. Namely, a stack of walls, I suppose. A stack of uncommon repair packs, which we have on every ship. Should we take laser turrets as well? We might want to take a stack of laser turrets. If we have them. We might not have enough of those. And perhaps the asteroid collectors as well. What else is in a dangerous location on the ship? Red belts, underground belts, and inserters. It's gonna be a bit more risky, so I might just want to bring a stack of those. Right, so the laser turrets. We are missing the laser turrets and the asteroid collectors. Right, we don't need an entire stack of laser turrets, but let's just make them anyway. Alright, so we're ready then to make the missing parts. This is what we need. Let's just go make it, I suppose. Let's start with the nuclear power plant. We can just bring a copy with us down to the quality area and we can see what we need. Alright. Hand feeding frenzy number. I don't know, I lost count how many times I already had hand feeding frenzies. But we need a normal nuclear reactor. There's 2 chests worth of those. 114 heat pipes, also of regular quality. That's 1140 and 1140 by 2. Alright, that's our 2 reactors, that's the heat pipes. Then starts the quality stuff. 16 quality heat exchangers. Requiring 1600 quality copper. Alright. That looks like a 4 assembler job. I don't really know what that's going to be. And then we had the 42 steam turbines. Uh, 2100 and 840. So out of those, 2100 and 840. I'm not sure it will fit in one chest, so let's do this. I think we can grab those. Make the 2 nuclear reactors. Okay, step 1. This goes in the heat pipes. And then that's fast. Alright, that's my 114 heat pipes. The 2 reactors. And then this goes into heat exchangers. These are way too expensive to have in stock, man. I don't want a chest full of those. Even not a single slot, like 50 of them or so. Alright. And the rest is gonna be the steam turbines. It's like 9 or something. Okay, there's single stack in here, and then the rest is these 8. Alright, that's a nuclear plant, hand-fed. Produced by demand, how is that called? Just-in-time production? Not entirely sure that's the word, but that's the entire nuclear plant. So huzzah! This should all become green now. There we go. Then it's up to the spaceship parts. I don't know if I actually have some already. We got 4 of those. Yeah, we got 6 of those. We need a stack of extra of those though. We need some more of these. We can afford it now. We got the rare LDSs. These don't require LDSs. Right, so I think we'll make maybe not the... How much cargo is that anyway? That's a lot of cargo, isn't it? I think we can make regular qualities perhaps. Maybe I have those already. Right, we have uncommons. How many 30 pieces? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna waste that if we have these in stock for now. Let's put those in, and we're gonna need to do annoying upgrade shenanigans. Do the blueprint. So that downgrades to uncommon cargo base, which we have. And I guess for the rest we're gonna make... So we don't need those anymore. We have the nuclear plant. We're gonna make at least double the amount of what we have in here. So let's make 10 thrusters, 20 crushers, and 40 collectors. We're gonna probably want to have those anyway for what's it called, for the solar system edge ship. So crushers, asteroid collectors, not cargo base though. Alright, this is 10, 10 and 5. Those are pretty cheap. 10, 10 and 20. Oh wait, we need the rare variant. $10, 10 and 20, so 200. Rare crushers directly. Okay. Yeah, those are gonna melt away pretty quick now. Now 40 of those. 5, 8 and 20. Okay, let's do 5, 8 and 20. Let's make more than 40. We'll make 50 of those. Hopefully that fits in here. That's 1,000 of those things. We're making them now though, so I'm less scared to spend them. Alright. Spaceship components. Half in there, half in there. That's gonna be 10. It's not gonna work the same, I suppose. Gonna need to be a little bit smarter with the engines, at least. Probably should have done 4 assemblers. Alright, 2 stacks of LDS left. We can do 5 for those. those in there. We'll grab 2 extra stacks for convenience. Okay, that is gonna finish. That is already finished. And this is gonna be... That's gonna be pretty slow. Alright, that's the thrusters and the crushers. We can just... I guess we can just drop those. I'll just hand deliver them. Uh, 5 and 10. And then the rest goes here. Alright, last sets of those. So we got 10 for the build and 10 as a backup. We still need some rare laser turrets. Alright, so 30 extra asteroid collectors, that's not bad. Do I just produce rare laser turrets straight up? I don't think we'll be doing that much more fighting on Nauvis. And if we do, we're probably gonna lose less laser turrets because they're stronger now, so I won't be making many uncommon laser turrets anymore. So let's just make them straight up. They require 20, 12 and 20. So how many do we want to make? If we're gonna make we want to make a lot probably. How much do we have? 27k rare steel. Oh, we don't have that many rare batteries actually. But those are easy to make with iron and copper. And we do have a ton of green chips, so perhaps we do want to... We'll just make the 50 or so we're missing right now. And then we'll just set into motion oh, I don't have that area anymore, I forgot about that. Okay, we can set into motion some laser turrets in here, which have a decent chance for quality. All right. So that goes into laser turrets then. Alright, that will keep going for a bit. Alright, so we can kind of calculate how many of these we need to make to get enough qualities. We have like a 12.8% quality chance, so let's call it 10%. Let's call it 11.1%. We need to make 10 times as many as we need. And I guess we're gonna need at least 200, so we want 2,000 of these. 42,000. That's 40,000 steel. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. That might be a bit more stuff than I can request to here. We have 10 chests to feed. Maybe we'll do sets of 200. Okay, we still have 28,000 uncommon batteries, so that should be alright. That's not gonna fit either. Okay, so that's only 100 laser turrets worth. We'll let the bots figure that out, that's gonna take them a bit. In the meantime, what do we have left over? Oh, a lot still. Let's throw that in there. How many bots is that? I don't know actually. About 3,000 I've got now. I don't need that many anymore, unless I'm doing this kind of shenanigans. All they're doing now is getting rid of quality stuff, basically. We used to have big quality area. I just need them for personal supply and organizing a couple of chests, really. Not that much. I still need them for. Oh, come on. Alright, there we go. Last laser turrets. All these chests have been supplied, it looks like. Okay, yeah, right. We need a couple more chests there. We'll fill every chest a second time. And I just hope we have enough resources. A nice resource sink though for the steel and green chips, of which we have way too many. 750k still in storage. And steel, I imagine we have tons as well. Yeah, 200k. So that's a nice resource sink. Batteries though, we don't have that many of those. 6.8k left after this. So I guess the ones in the requester chest don't count though. Right, the last laser turrets, forgot about those. Okay, so the spaceship is complete. Science still going strong. 2 million, man. Holy moly. Back into the multiple hour territory. That might be the most expensive tech we have researched so far. I think artillery was 1.5 million. That was the most expensive one to date. All right. We need more chests. So we're gonna output in these. And input from those. I guess we'll upgrade the speed. That's going to be the bottleneck, I suppose. It's fine though. Now I messed up the timing, so we're not gonna get the exact amount, but so far that's alright. And the only thing left is the 6 productivity modules. Oh yeah, it's gonna take a while. But it's gonna get done. It's gonna get done. It does look like all of these chests are full again. So we can do the trick a second time after this is complete. Yeah, batteries are super cheap. That's why I haven't made them, apparently. Since it's easy to make them anyway. I think we're just gonna launch the ship up then. And I found that you can get a nice build sequence, a nice shot if you just manually launch up everything. And then just paste the blueprint on top and it will just build the entire ship top to bottom. It looks pretty cool. So I think we're gonna do that. So... And that means we're hijacking. Okay, the ship is receiving plastics now. After that we should probably have some time. Since the Aquilo ship is going to sit at Aquilo for a while, so the plastics are being loaded now. After that we can hijack the silos to launch up everything. So we'll put everything in a chest. I am missing one thing on my Aquilo ship. I'm missing some power, a power pole. Let's grab 2 rare ones. We'll add that to the mix. We'll place those after the fact. Okay, we still need to make the 6 productivity modules, but I think we're first gonna launch up everything, since now we got a good window. That was the mistake. Oh well. I got the stuff. I got the stuff in my inventory. That's what counts. Okay, that might be the last of the plastics. Oh yeah, 10k on the way, 50k on the ship. So that's good. How is the plastics doing? Alright, the new plastic build is cooking. I don't think, is it going already at full speed? I am not really sure. Oh, this plot suck, man. Come on, launch the rocket already. 2 more, okay, there's the last 2. 1, and this one's gone as well. Alright, hijack time. Alright, no more automatic requests, so now we just need to stuff everything we got in here. And unfortunately I'm gonna have to do it manually. Let's just start with the full stacks. Or not. Let's just launch whatever is in front. Order goes out of the window. And then we just go back to the other end like a typewriter. Oh, wait a second. Maybe we should have a little bit of order. I want to get a cool build animation, so that's the trade-off. There should be a better way to request stuff to a spaceship but not actually build it yet. Maybe there is. But then you get the partial stack problem, which is also not great. We're running out of rockets that are ready. Alright, we should not launch the 4 rare cargo bays. Those are left over. Alright, and then the modules have to be inserted by hand. Okay, that's everything. Let's give the spaceships back to the bots. Or the silos back to the bots. And we can do the cool build sequence. That is what we were all doing it for. Does it fit? It doesn't fit. Right, we need to build a cargo bay then. Alright, it does fit. Forgot about that part. Okay, now the blueprint part. Okay, we gotta make yet another copy because we only have 8 solar panels on board. Which means we're gonna make yet another copy. And this one will not have the laser turrets. Not have the speed modules. Or productivity modules. Okay, I do want the efficiencies though. Those are good. So it looks like we are manually scanning. Okay, so that's the startup, I suppose. Let's add an S. Alright. The problem is where you cannot power all those laser turrets on 8 solar panels. The rest of the ship will never never do its thing. I forgot I should do this as well. So let's do that. That will start bringing in the fuel cells automatically this time. And we can watch the rocket silos. I cannot resist. Rockets are so easy nowadays, man. I remember back in the olden days when it still meant something to launch a rocket. Anyway. Slash old man talk. Here we go, this should be pretty sweet. Alright, that was worth all the hand launching, wasn't it? That was worth all the hand launching for sure. Right, so now the inserters are working. We are actually grabbing asteroids. And we are actually putting water into the heat exchangers. The heat exchangers are not working. Which is fine. We can manually put some fuel cells in there. We don't even need the inserters. Just to start it up. So, you know, I think that should work automatically, right? So these are enabled because the temperature is low. And these will only grab one if we are grabbing a spent fuel cell, so we should already be good. As long as we got the water. But yeah, we'll have to wait a little for that. It's gonna take some time to get some fuel in here as well. I guess for the startup phase we could actually make the most out of what we get, just to get the fuel filled up. We can later I should have deleted the beacons as well from the blueprint. We can later remove those once we actually fly to Aquilo. But we can fly pretty fast to Gleba for sure. To get on the way to Aquilo. Because it's gonna be over there. Okay. So unfortunately we cannot really fly it right now, we'll have to wait. Ah, the lasers are here. I was thinking there should be some infrastructure there. We need to wait to place the lasers until the reactor is up to temperature, or we just will black out immediately. Right, so ship built. Laser ship. I'm planning to take a laser ship all the way to the solar system edge if I can. Aquilo is possible for sure at the level where we're at. We basically have all the non-infinite levels of laser damage. Create new... Yeah. I was thinking about it too, but then you still have to manage the... I'm still worrying about the... about the partial stacks, which will not automatically launch. Why do I got 6-6? 4-4. Alright, I see. There's a bug, I think. I'm pressing confirm. You even hear the key doing the confirm thing, but it doesn't save. I have to go out of this square and then click it. Right. Sure. This switched itself off again, so let's get those fuel cells on board. But now the plastic ship is here. Okay, we're launching plastics again. So I think the purple science is in full swing again. Finally. That's what eating almost all of the plastics. So here we go. We have 3 belts of plastics basically. It's spread over 5 locations, but it's basically 3 belts. One goes into LDS for the spaceship part, as well as into the blue chips. The other 4 belts, which are basically 3 belts, flow into red chips for purple science, because both the productivity modules and the electric furnaces, they take a ton of red chips and are made in... At least these are made in assemblers for 5 advanced circuits apiece. We get a little bit of productivity bonus thanks to the EM plans on the productivity modules though. But that is basically where all the plastic is going. Not feasible. It is doable to make it from Vulcan coal, but the total amount of tungsten and coal available on at least my Vulcanus over here is the exact ratio we need to make the local science pack in the millions like we need them. So if I use this coal to make purple science, we'll just run out of coal really quick and be left over with tons of tungsten. That's why I'm importing the plastics. We need like almost an order of magnitude more coal for purple science than for the Vulcan science. What's it called? Metallurgic science. So that's the reason behind importing plastics to Vulcanus. Since we're actually gonna be limited by the amount of resources on the planet, since all the patches are basically 1000 times smaller compared to normal. Alright. Still launching plastics. Is the reactor up to temperature? Not yet. 433 degrees. Alright, I think I didn't start up the reactor simultaneously, so we're inserting more fuel cells. Not such a big deal, but we don't need to do it. How is the water? 3.6k. Not great. Guess we could do a test flight through the inner solar system. And that will fill up the water tanks quite nicely. These are about half full. So we're gonna again launch out of the gates real fast. And then we'll slow down. Okay, 500 degrees. We should switch to nuclear right now. Yeah, we're doing it. All of the water is going to be converted into steam. We even should be filling the steam buffer now. Alright, let's place the lasers. Looks like we're launching more fuel cells. And then we're not going to leave, we're going to be waiting for those fuel cells, I suppose. Since they're going to be continuously on the way. So how much storage space is this anyway? It's not an incredible amount. 800 slots though. 839. Let's say we have 800 for science. There's 160,000 science packs, which could fit inside. If we divide it by our SPM, that is like 1.5 hours or so of science packs. I mean, we need to fly slow to Aquilo because we got a laser ship, but I think we can manage a return flight every 90 minutes. We do need to have a lot of rocket silos launching up the science then, so the launching process doesn't take too long. But that sounds entirely doable. With just a single ship, we don't need multiple, I think, if we build enough silos. So that we are not stationary above Aquilo for too long, or for those 90 minutes. We gotta fly by Fulgora as well to pick up holmium. I think that's on the way though. We can just fly Fulgora, Aquilo. Pick up some holmium plates, drop them off, take the signs and fly back. Something like that. We could combine the Fulgoran science ship. No, let's not make things complicated. Right, we have the blueprint with the lasers. That builds all of those. Okay, let's do that one more time because I didn't zoom in. Zip. Nice. And that is how this thing is gonna work. Alright, we do have some water. Let's see if we can make it out of here. For now we'll have these modules. We're not gonna speed things up. We're gonna fly slow, except out of the gate. So, Vulcanus, Gleba, Fulgora, and back to Nauvis until passenger present. Let's see if we can get somewhere. Test flight is go. We're gonna speed out of the gate, but those medium asteroids, if they come in time, should not pose a threat at all. We'll already slow down. Alright. Are we out of fuel? We are out of fuel. Let's use the emergency pumps. They are not purely decorative. Oh, that's good. That's an ice asteroid. Okay, I think think these are not wired up correctly. They should be grabbing only if we are reading more than 30 of those asteroids on the belt, but I think these are just not connected. Alright, those are not connected. Those are not connected at all. That's a problem with them. Okay, I already see I messed up. This should have been a long-handed one. This one now will get stuck as soon as it has a byproduct. I guess we can just rotate that one as well. Just put it back on this belt. That is basically how it should be then. Okay, this one is not connected. These should only grab if we got enough on the belt. Except the last one. Let's neutralize output priority for now. Okay, we are still going forwards at least. Let's fill the emergency fuel again. Okay, we got a good amount of asteroids now. We're throwing overboard a bunch. We do have 78 on the belt. Alright, and we're not reading because the two sides are not connected. So now they are. Alright, and now we're finally starting to throw overboard those. This is already backing up. Okay, I think the ship is going. I think the ship is going. Alright, so we can again do the output priority as it was meant to be. Have all of those go next to these, and they only grab if more than 30 are on the belt, which there are. There's now 60 of them on the belt. We cannot throw them overboard fast enough. Alright, we have almost made it to Vulcanus. We're going nice and slow. That's alright. It takes a while to destroy this, even the medium ones. So hopefully we'll fare well against the large ones on the way to Aquilo. This should basically fill the tanks and whatnot. Maybe we need to just let it go around a few more times. Let's see what the status is after we go once. Alright, so we need to do this properly as well. They won't grab it, so I can now just grab a fuel cell. Put one in. They'll both burn up. One will be in this slot, and these guys now will wait until the temperature drops. And then they will synchronously take it out and will synchronously put a new one in. Alright, so that is now done as well. We are still filling up the steam tanks. I think it's going to take a lot of time to fill up 200k of water. But then again, we do have a lot of time. Our Aquilo Explorer ship is ready, so I guess now we can start thinking about what we want to take to Aquilo. Let's take a look at the oil tanks. They probably will be more full. 19,887. Okay, 19,887. We're gonna go with that number. 19,887. High point. Advanced asteroid processing. So now is the question, is the oil gonna go up or down? 19,887. Or will it stay equal? I don't know. This should have quite a decent impact, I think. That we productivity modules the plastics. Okay, power is dipping quite low. 28 gigajoules. And we're not even doing the full shenanigans yet. Aquilo design session, no. We're gonna not do that ahead of time. We're just gonna fly there, take a look around, and then we're gonna figure stuff out like true explorers, instead of just designing a blueprint ahead of time, go there, stamp it down, and get out. How's it going with my lasers? Probably I wanna hook those up. So we can get an overview. Okay, 111 rare ones. Almost out of resources. So let's do the second one. Alright. I should throw away my other stuff. There's a second batch of laser turrets. Hopefully that's going to be enough to destroy any biters we still need. As well as get me the rare laser turrets for the Aquilo, or for the Solar System Edge ship, I suppose. That's the goal. We can still make a couple ones straight up, but that should get me the majority. We already did the hand feeding work for, or most of the hand feeding work for the Solar System Edge ship as well. That thing is probably gonna require fusion power though. So we don't need to make another nuclear reactor, but we do need the laser turrets. Alright. Not gonna keep those. We got a save game. Those we don't need. And we can actually deconstruct everything. Okay. Oh, I forgot to launch this stuff up, I suppose. I know that got just re-requested. So do I have that stuff on board? Okay, I do. Do I have space for 2 power lines? I don't. I could put them in the back. Oh, this thing is pretty cramped. I just want that so I can just click a power line to see the electric stuff. Which is why I want it close by. Okay, we're gonna sacrifice a heat pipe, I suppose. Preheating the water. Oh right, I forgot about. I know we don't have a tank here for the ice cube tank. Oh well. Alright then. So what do we do next? A radar flight and you shall not be there, but I need to land on the planet. Medium asteroid farming with laser turrets. That might be possible as well with that's another times 2 times the hit points though. That might be possible with more upgrades. Right. I don't really have a clear vision on this finishing this base and all the science packs pre-Aquilo kinda marked the end of an era. And that era is the era where I knew what to do. And now we're just, I don't know, well, we're winging it a little. So, what do we do next? I have a list of things to do still. We need a new core belt. Let's see if military science is keeping up. Okay, grenades are not backed up. Or are they? Click military science. It does look fairly stable. 980 a minute. Except for when we had our chests full, basically. I forgot how much the mech armor required. I think it was less than 1 million. Divided by 2, divided by 1.64. We need 1.5 million science packs, but since we are producing half of them live, we only need half of them to come from chests, so 760k. We have enough to research the mech armor already. We can do that right now and we won't run out of military science, at least not if we have coal. Man, I feel this playthrough has evolved beyond building mines everywhere, but maybe not. Where is the nearest coal mine anyway? I think we gotta go down all the way to like here, 10 million. That could be good. There's a small one here, which we can probably just take. There's forest there. There's not actually too much coal left in the bottom. We got some coal over here. And here. It's kind of an awkward location though, because our coal belts need to come in here and here. Basically, they can connect to here. So if we want coal belts to connect somewhere over there, These two we are mining, so that makes sense. They are close by. It looks like it's gonna have to be that patch, doesn't it? These guys are just sitting on my belts. So much for the anti-expansion stuff. That's gonna last a while though if we do that one. We got belts, which we can use for that. I think we need to install some new ones. We can potentially use these old ones if we clear them. It's probably faster to just build new ones though. We can just hook them in the back of here. That's a good coal patch, right? And then we got this one, which is doing our plastics. We are potentially borrowing... We need 2 red belts of coal for military science. We are borrowing 2 belts for plastics. As we do need 3 belts for plastics though. So we need a belt in the back of here as well. There is coal on this island over here, which is not attackable. But that is a little bit too risky, I think. How does this even look again? Okay, I think this setup should be able to mine 2 belts of coal like this. Does that fit? Oh yeah, that fits, and we can just put more miners on the back if we want to. The progress bar went up a whole 1%. Yeah, it's kind of annoying that we basically tripled our science per minute, but the techs are getting 3 times more expensive, so the net effect is kind of 0. I think we're gonna just run around a bit with. We're gonna try to make the base a little bit more efficient. I think the power dips happen when the rockets launch at night a lot. So let's start there. We got some efficiency modules. These are our best ones, so I'll just walk around and see what we can do. We cannot do anything about these or these. We can do something about the silos though. That's potentially over 200 megawatts of power when they're all launching at the same time. I want all of them to be fast, but these are now way too fast. I guess using productivity module Mark III is not going to be more friendly for the power. Adds 3 megawatts. The power is used upon launching. Doesn't really work like a normal assembler or anything. Alright, let's just... Okay, these are 22 and 15 megawatts. That's gonna change too much. 6 megawatts per beacon. I guess we'll add them. I guess we can do this. Does take away from the spaceship a little. 9 megawatts. Okay, these are all 9 megawatts now. I cannot build in this chunk, actually. If I do that, I will lose these. I think I still have those. Okay, we still have these 4. So if I build beacons next to this silo, I will lose these 4 expansion chunks. I think The time that those were not full is a thing of the past. So that doesn't fit, unfortunately. So we can add another stack next to here. Real base concrete? No, not gonna be doing that. This is now very slow. It didn't become that much faster. Alright, so all of these silos down here are basically maximum efficiency now. We cannot do more unless we research Mark III efficiencies. But this is already half the power that it was using. Okay, I kinda wanna see what happens if I use Mark III speeds up here. Those rocket launches are loud. You can do like a green belt. Okay, 1.5. 31. Okay, so the top ones cannot continuously launch, but they use 3 megawatts each now. The bottom ones use 9 megawatts each. I think that's kinda the maximum I can reduce that for now. What if I use Mark III pods? That's just gonna, that's gonna double power usage again. I could use Mark I pods. And now we're at minus 80%. At the cost of using slightly more rocket parts. 6% against 9. It's not terrible. It might be worth it. That's like the minimum power. That makes the rocket launches a non-issue. These go down from 9 megawatts to 6. Okay, that's not great. 24 against 36%. I think I'm gonna go with the Mark Is. Although, of course, that's going to just run these setups more frequently, and those are not very efficient either. We'll keep the middle ground with the Mark IIs then. Mark IIs it is. Alright. So that is an area we could do something about. This is all idle and decorative at this point. These are minimized. These are minimized. This is also decorative now. Look at that, they still have the cute modules inside. I mean, they use some idle draw, but it's not really significant. We cannot change the labs. This has been carefully balanced as well. I guess this thing is way too fast. I don't really want to think about those numbers anymore, so I'm not going to change that. I mean, we could benefit from Mark III's a little. That is minimized. Yes, we could stop. These are minimized. My entire this base is minimized as well. Minimized as far as I can. Here I cannot change stuff again. Oh right, we have these guys still. Oh, that might be very much worth it to upgrade the Mark III pods. Let's go to the end. Alright, so we have better speed modules now and better productivity modules. Currently, so the point is we want to absorb 20 iron ore per second. Since I am dividing 2 red belts over 3 of these. So let's see what happens if we chuck these in. Alright, we go from 500 kilowatts to 2.43 megawatts. And we only absorb 18.3 iron ore. Let's see. We can bring it back to 625 kilowatts like this. What if I upgrade 1 to speed 3? Alright, now we are doing 20.2. Okay, so we're basically back at the old level. Except we use 750 kilowatts instead of 500. But now we are turning 24 into not 380 but 430. That's 50 extra. That's like 15% extra on top. That's probably worth it. This is like these machines process so many resources. I think I'm gonna grab a full set of modules for those. Okay, so let's grab all but 200. We need more efficiencies as well. Some at least. I'm not doing a good job of lowering the power cost of the base. We still have the steel to worry about as well. But this is gonna be another 15% savings on all of the ore, all of the iron and copper ore, so it's not nothing. Okay, those were already minimized as well. We'll probably upgrade the steel as well. Oh, really? Missing 12 modules. Right, so steel is probably going to be another big save. It means we need less molten iron to make steel. Let's just upgrade one. Okay. Power cost goes up slightly, so that's definitely worth it. We're making more steel from less resources per machine. Okay, that seems worth it as well. Let's chuck those in. Grab more Mark IIs, efficiencies. A bit too high. Hello. Hey, we have bots, let's use them. Alright, that's basically minimum consumption. Alright, then we have to... I guess some of these affect 4, but then it's not symmetric, so I think we're just gonna waste 2 times more expensive speed modules than we really need. These are fast enough as is, really. Let's just add one. The inserters can no longer keep up now. Now we're at minus 70%. Okay, they're all at minus 70%. Let's do this. Means we just make more space platforms as well. Alright, I think that was a useful upgrade. It didn't really save energy though. It might save energy in the mining drills and whatnot. All of this is minimized. Oh, and then we get to the military science assemblers. It could use a rebuild to be more efficient and use less modules and better productivity. But I like this build, so it's gonna stay. It's just gonna stay as is. That's the guilty pleasure. 56. It's like 70 megawatts. It could be way less, but oh well. I think that's all we can do for now. All of this was minimized as well, I'm pretty sure. All of this has a minimum. I've been caring about power costs a lot. Alright. So the lowest dip we saw was like 25 gigs, so we can keep an eye on that a bit. Let's see where it goes down to this night. I think the rocket silos, that will help a bit. Okay. Sun is already coming up. We start to produce solar. Probably not launching. Oh, we are launching. Okay, so this is fairly representative, I think. We are using 2 gigawatts. We are using 2 gigawatts because... No, we are using 2 gigawatts. 0.1. We are... Oh, we are still dipping to 28. 26. Okay, yeah, that's not great. We did keep this build. We can switch back to it if we need to. 42 kilowatts is a lot less than 1.27 megawatts, even though there are more of those. The only thing I did not do correctly then was I did not merge these. I just replaced them. So I cannot do it remotely. I need to go there. Don't want to build another power plant. I'm too stubborn. Well, we do easily get to 100 gigajoule capacity. So technically I could add more accumulators. But yeah. Okay, let's balance the inventory a bit. I'm gonna get rid of these. I haven't used those in ages. I think the rest is fairly alright. How do I get one rare hoverpod there? Some bots. 3200 bots. Alright. We'll switch that off again. Not gonna need quality modules. Still gonna hold on to these myself. These. I got a lot of those. Alright, so I'm just not in the mood to go build mining drills, man. 240 rare laser turrets. Okay, this is looking good. That's looking great. I think we're just gonna call it for today. Just don't want to go do random tasks at the moment. Right. What will we do on Sunday though? Let's save here. End of stream save. We did what we wanted to do, and that is build a spaceship for Aquilo. Let's take a look how it's going with the thing. Right, we're back in Nauvis. Water tanks are partially full. Of course, now we are just grabbing a couple asteroids again. So let's just send this guy out on yet another loop. Alright. That's gonna fill the water tanks up a bit more. Oh, I did forget one thing. I wanted to make these slower productivity modules. It's not the end of stream safe yet then. I wanted to do that. We need... What do we need? We need to recycle a bot rocket. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I just don't know what to do next. Everything feels... I need to have a plan or something. Feels weird not knowing what to do after almost 500 hours of knowing exactly what I wanted to do, and now I'm in the dark. I don't even know how Aquilo works. You need to put ice platforms and then put concrete on that, right? To build stuff. Or is the concrete part optional? I forgot about it. I literally know nothing. Okay, that's 4 hours, and then another... I think it's another 12 hours or so until we have Aquilo researched. I think we gotta go ahead and do the important stuff. I think on Sunday stream is gonna be a revisiting planet stream. We're gonna make the fixes we need to fix. We're gonna go to Fulgora, fix this, and fix this so that we are actually sending rocket parts to Gleba, even if the local science is off, or just some buffer chest or something. We're gonna fix Vulcanus, or like fix, it's working fine as it is, but I think the tungsten ore patches, they could use some strengthening, so we probably have to install a couple mines there as well. Sulfuric acid hasn't dipped a bit. We might actually do some demolisher graveyard expansion. I bet we can take the big and maybe even behemoth one on now. The behemoth one I'm not sure, but the big one I think we can take on now. We got some... do I get more damage upgrades or didn't I? I didn't get more damage upgrades. I'm not gonna research those if I can prevent that. I think we got more damage upgrades though than when we did the medium ones. Gleba doesn't need any fixing. Gleba is working. And rule number 1 for Gleba is, if it's working, don't touch it. Don't touch anything. And Nauvis, of course, needs at least some coal mines. I think we can have a general resource check, but I suppose we're fine. Let's see if oil is going up or down so far. 19,887. 19,823. Alright, so we are kind of exactly. Production and consumption is almost equal. We are slightly underproducing. Like 1.7, 1.8k per minute. So that's not much on a 29 million buffer. But yeah, we could upgrade the oil fields as well with... Well, we could upgrade them for free with better speed modules right now. But we'll see if that's necessary. Alright, so we'll save here then. I think I'm gonna go to bed. Oh. Concrete is not optional. Alright, that's good to know. I'll write that down. Concrete for Aquilo is not optional. Alright, so Sunday we're gonna make a shopping list for Aquilo as far as we can at least predict what we will need. And for the rest we're just gonna go around and fix things and strengthen resource supplies. Because once we get to Aquilo, we want to be busy with Aquilo. So we need to be sure the base keeps chugging along at the full 5904 SPM. Let's call it 6k. The full 6k SPM. That's what we want. So in order to achieve that, we'll need to invest some time building some mines and whatnot. Fair enough, I suppose. You never grow beyond needing to build mining outposts in Factorio. Alright, that's going to be all for today. Thanks again, SDB, for the 25 gifted subs. Thanks so much. If you know a name for the Aquilo ship, which is a better, more creative name than Aquilo Explorer, feel free to send me a message on Discord. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.